Well, Rob, okay. Firstly, thank you for your patience. And you have been extremely patient. This is an exquisitely beautiful watch. Very early True Pogue, February 1971. So I am expecting that we're going to see an A movement in here. I know I did an evaluation on this, but I don't remember. So starting fresh. So let's get into it. I mean, obviously, cosmetically, the watch is beautiful. It's got the later style taper on it, but I prefer those. I'm assuming it's going to be functional only. So let's see what we see. Definitely an A movement, which I'm not surprised about at all. There's one servicing mark inside the case back. The case back seal was just hard as plastic, so it was a long time ago. Movement looks pretty bright. See that gray stuff there? This person, whoever this was, used either S2 or S3 Seiko lubricant for that. It's graphite paste, sort of, graphite grease. And you can use it for this. The advantage of it is that it mostly stays in one place, which is what you want, but it's unusual for me to see it here. Sometimes you see it on keyless works, but really it's mostly for the S2 is for mainsprings, S3 is for keyless works and stuff, but even with that I don't see it very often. Winding bridge off now, and you can see this stuff right here. It's debris. I don't think it's salt or anything, but it shouldn't be there. But when we're all done, that'll get cleaned off. Always fun to see this stuff. Here, crown buttons. All of your seals are just rock hard. And of course, dirty. You do have a bent tip shaft on this thing. I can usually straighten these out a good amount. You won't notice really any difference. It's just one of those things that needs to happen when these watches don't get service. It becomes a lot harder to reset them, and people push like crazy. And that is how you get a bent button. But the button, once I straighten it, it'll be fine. Look at all the stuff that came out of this watch. Amazing. Okay, case is apart, strip down all that kind of stuff. Looking at the movement now, I just noticed something. Your chronograph sweep hand. Look at the bend in it. It's bent like a banana. I'm not sure why that is. I guess if I were a smart monkey, I would... Whoops. Yeah, because this is an A and it doesn't sit down. Okay, so it looks like your sweep hand was not centering properly, and so someone just bent it. So if I straighten this sweep hand, if I straighten that, what's going to happen is it's going to reset over here. And it's going to look funky. And when it's off just ever so slightly that much, it's very, very hard to reset correctly. That's going to be weird. This is a special watch. If this were my watch, I would not fiddle with trying to straighten that or re-stake it or any of that kind of stuff. I would simply replace it. And you are extraordinarily lucky in that I just so happen to have some new old stock sweeps for this model. Hang on just 1 second. I mean, complete with the tip and everything. Gosh darn it, where is it? Let me find that. Here we go. I had to do some digging. That is a genuine new old stock sweep. You'll note the red tip. And that helps you position it properly, and then you trim it off. That's what I would do. I wouldn't fiddle with this nonsense at all. This watch deserves better, and it'll end up as a better product anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I have that stripped out. It is amazing how bent this hand is. You know, so whoever signed this thing in the back, too bad. That's okay. Your dial is scarily beautiful, and it is same date as the case back, February 71. Okay, it's going to be the usual thing. Here is your your barrel. As you can see, that's a little wobbly. I'm sure you'll agree. Wow, look at the screw head. So, yeah, upper and lower. Okay, let me start pulling this thing apart. Pretty. All the kids are home today because it's spring break, so you might hear some squeaking. Hi. Okay, so let's. It's a little stiff. That should be turning. So we'll check that again after I do some cleaning. It looks okay, generally speaking. Okay, stripping it down a little further. I'm pleased to announce that your chronograph wheel appears to be good. And that's a big deal. Big deal. Third wheel. Escape wheel. Okay, let's pull that center wheel. Cock, bridge, whatever you want to call it. The pokey center wheel thing. No, I mean, you can see that lower port is ovaled out. And look at that S2 lubricant coming out of there. I wonder how much this person used. Going to be interesting to see. Okay. Okay, starting to put it back together. Flipped it over so I can do the balance, but it occurred to me that I haven't shown there's your lower mainspring or report. See that jewel there? I think it's a pretty neat looking installation. Looks pretty good. So that's excellent. So let's keep pushing forward. Everything's clean. I've now rebuilt your barrel completely. It's all nice and clean. For as much S2 lubricant there was in different places, the barrel was actually surprisingly empty of S2 lubricant. And in case you're curious, by the way, about what S2 lubricant looks like, there it is. There's S2 lubricant. Okay, let me get to putting it together. I had forgotten to make any updates. When things go smoothly, I often forget to make bits of the video. I just keep chugging until I run into a problem. Well, I haven't run into any problems. It's been smooth and clean, and so far things are better. So I'm to the train bridge is on. I'm to the point of assembling the underside of the chronograph assembly. Then I'll put on the chronograph bridge and see where we're going. I've got about maybe half an hour left before I have to pull the plug, go for the day. So I'm hoping that I should be able to get this close to running and see how it goes, see what kind of numbers we got. Here we are. Here is the chronograph bridge. Now you remember when I pulled this the first time, it was not happy. It wouldn't turn nicely. So again, we have our test. Oh, look at that, isn't that so nice? That means that it is good. It's supposed to give basically zero resistance. This is a nice bridge too, as you see there's if one of these has been used a lot, especially had the chronograph reset a lot, you start to really see deformation of this bushing right here. You see a little bit here. See that little raised mark? That's from the thing being pushed this way. But this is, that's quite minor. I've seen others that are really, like I have to do like reconstructive surgery on these things, if not flat out replace them. But this is pretty good. Okay, so we are now to the point I have the train bridge on, and so we can see how the train runs, see if it runs freely or not. We'll put a little bit of power in the mainspring there. And you can see it spinning. You can see all the different wheels in there turning. That's good. Ooh, it just clicked over the date. And we can also now look at, do a real quick visual check of the correctness for the reset. There's a couple things we look at. This window right here, we look at where this sits. We draw a line from here to here, and that line should go through here and right to this tip of the finger, and it should go right through pretty much in that area. And here, this intermediate date wheel, it should be like a W inside this little window.
W.
Oh boy, I have a little girl and a cat here.
Hello.
So it should be like a W, just like that. It should be spaced in the middle. So if you see that, that's a good place to start. And so we can test things from there. Now I'm gonna put on the pallet fork and drop the balance. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, well here is the movement. You can see that clearly I did something right as the movement is running, which is nice.
Bye-bye.
So Willow says goodbye. She has to go upstairs. And so now let's turn on the chronograph. We can see how things are going. And this big window is where you look to see if this date finger is aligned properly. It's also where you adjust it if you need to change the geometry, the interaction over here. That's nice and light. That's good. So I haven't checked the numbers on this, obviously. I literally just got it running. No, it looks clean, huh? Looking clean. I would just want to see how snappy this is when this comes over and how light it is. As soon as this comes around, then I'll put it on the time grapher and we will test to see what it looks like. Should be coming around here any minute. We're looking right here. Boop. Okay, that's good. Let's put it on the machine. 54.5. Let's see what we see. Okay, whoops. Okay, there she blows. She's running. There's some good numbers to start. Yeah, it would be a good runner. Okay, well, I'm going to adjust out that beat error and the accuracy, and then I'm pretty much the end of the day. I found out that dinner is noodles, so that'll be that. We'll let it run in overnight and then see what happens. A real quick rough adjustment here. Definitely going to want to let that sit, but hey, that's a very good starting point. Yep. That's good. We'll see what those numbers look like tomorrow. And, but I'm not worried. Should be good. Wow, that's steady, huh? Yeah, I'm going to have to readjust the beat error, but it's still got to settle. I mean, it's been running for about, what, 10 minutes? Well, I don't think I'm going to get anything different out of it. Keep hoping, though. I didn't want that kind of different. Okay. Okay, okay, that's it. I'm done. Okay. Numbers are doing fine. So now we're doing on the I'm starting to do some of the other little things. So I've got your dial on now, and something I see, I'm going to have to go in and adjust the dial feet, because we can see that the date and the day are too low, and this aperture for the center is too low, and we can see especially right here, that's the pinion for the minute counter, and it's too low. All of these things should be centered, so I have to pull this dial and then adjust the dial feet and check it again, because everything should be in the middle. Okay, so there's the first adjustment, and we can see it's still a little low. Not quite as low as you think, because it's got some patina around that port, which makes it look a little more so, but we can tell right there. It's still got to go up just a hair. Okay, so there we are. And that is much improved. So now it's time to start putting the hands on. Okay, so hands are on. I straightened, this is your original sweep. So I want to, just for fun, I want to see what happens if I try to drop this thing on, because these are one set things. So the tube on this hand is set to the flat side, the keyed pinion on this chronograph wheel. Come on, it's real interesting trying to do this way. Hang on just one sec. Wow, really? Huh. Look at that. Look at that. I was able to straighten it. I mean, this is pretty straight. That's a lot better than I ever thought it would be. It still curves a little bit, but that's not bad, actually. That's not bad. I don't know. I'll see if I can get it dead straight, but see, it's right through the middle of the eye for the Seiko. That's crazy. Huh, okay. So I just had a little bit of a hiccup. Remember I was saying that one of the buttons was bent? Well, this is the button that was bent, and it's not only bent the shaft where I'm holding it, it's actually, the entire thing is bent inside to the point that actually it won't function inside the tube. It would just bind up. I did try to straighten it. I put a good amount of effort actually into it, and I could just never get it to be right. So I went and replaced it. This is right here, that's a genuine Seiko button. And vintage, same with the vintage as this, and it's of the same condition as your other one. I cleaned it up, and I think that's the best thing, because now we have nice smooth action. Before it barely would go in, and when you moved it, it just stayed wherever it put. It was just junk. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the winding assemblies on. Well, that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna just do a final blow off here, put the case back seal on, seal it up, and get to testing, but I don't have any doubts about the outcome. So we'll do the final part of the video here in just a second. It's the end of the day, but there we are. A beautiful watch. A beautiful watch. Buttons are nice and light and clean. That one that was really making me worried. Okay, now I haven't put the bracelet on. This is your taper H-link. You had wanted me to try to fit these solid end links to the case and also to this bracelet. I haven't started doing that yet. I guess I don't have a great sense of success coming from that. These end links, these solid metal ones, they're really twitchy and weird. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't, but you can see the profile is wrong on these. In fact, I don't even think these will, well, they might. I mean, but they just, the outside profile is wrong. Seriously, I'm a big fan, sorry. I'm a big fan of these stock ones. Seiko went with these for a reason, and they're gonna look so much better. There's no advantage really to using the metal ones. It's going to take a ton of work and investment to make them fit, and even then they're not going to look very good. These standard ones, really, seriously, trust me, are much better. I know people like the solid end links, but it's just not something I would recommend. You'd be paying a good amount of hourly time for me to fit these, and it wouldn't look as good as these would look, and these will take me no time to put on at all. That's my recommendation. You can tell me to go and do it if you want, but my strong recommendation is that you just go with the standard ones and leave it on this beautiful taper bracelet. That's a great watch. That really is a great watch. Okay, well, that's the end of that story. I thank you so much for your patience. You let me know what to do about this bracelet. I'm happy to put that on there. If you really want me to work on these these solid ones, I'll do it, but I don't think you'll be happy with the extra expense, or especially considering what the final product will look like, which is probably not great. What a great watch. Okay, thank you so very much, Robert.